Hello, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year from the Perth to Paisley podcast, episode number 221. But let's be honest, it wasn't that Merry a Christmas, and it's not that Happy a New Year, as for only the second time this season, Hearts lost a Premiership game. But it's the worst one to lose in the Edinburgh Derby. But let's all be honest, it could have been a lot worse. So to dissect the disastrous Derby defeat, I, as ever, I'm Daniel McIver, joined by a fellow Christmas Jumper Hearts edition, Adam Kennedy. Adam, how are you? How was your Christmas? What are you thinking?
Aye, all right, mate. Christmas was ruined by those that wore a maroon shirt on Saturday. But yeah, it was all right. I don't really know what you want me to
Yeah.
say. The actual day was fine. Um, Boxing Day, yeah, all right. Lack of football, whatever. Ended up working the Man United Newcastle, which was woeful,
Oh, that
but
was
not as
bad as well.
woeful as Saturday. So yeah, I'm not really looking forward to chatting about this. But here we are. We've turned up. If you've got to do the pros and the cons when it comes to this podcast malarkey. So here we are. How are you? Did you have a nice Christmas?
Aye, it was all right. Quite hectic 4 days kind of thing for Christmas Eve till yesterday, the 28th, as we record this, up and down, here, there, and everywhere, seeing family. But back in my flat now, and I'm no back to work until the 5th. So got a
Very
week
nice.
of chill. I did not have a good football in 24 hours with Newcastle and Hearts. Aye, not fun at all. For audio listeners, as I say, I am wearing the official club Hearts Christmas jumper, and you've got a lovely classic football shirt Hearts one as
Yes,
well.
courtesy of my younger sister for Christmas. So thanks, Rach.
Lovely.
Yeah, it was nice. Not a particularly lucky jumper given its first outing, but here we
Yeah,
are.
same. Same. Well, before we go through the shit show that was the half 12 kickoff, it was a full Christmas calendar of fixtures on the Saturday. We were the early kickoff, and the other five games were Dundee getting a big result at home, 10 man Dundee as well. Get a massive result at home to Falkirk with a 1-0 win. St Mirren and Killie played out a 0-0 draw in Paisley, bringing Killie's winless run to 12 now, which is just absolutely wild. Rangers narrowly beat High Flying Motherwell 1-0 at Ibrox with a little bit of controversy
Of
sprinkled
course.
in there. The most insane 10 minutes of the footballing season in Scotland happened in Livingston Celtic, as there was 4 goals in the opening 10. However, Celtic eventually ran out 4-2 winners. And in the late kickoff of the day, up in Aberdeen, it finished one each between them and Dundee United. Adam, what did you make of all the other games?
Um, Celtic were the only result that I got right. So that tells you everything you need to know. I obviously fancied us. More on that later. Dundee, as you say, massive 3 points for them. I kind of fancy them to repeat the feat against Kilmarnock on Tuesday in what's an absolutely massive basement battle at Dens yet again.
Oh, good. So a team getting into form just before they play us. That's what I
Without a
like to
doubt,
hear.
yep, always. Um, Livingston, I thought we were going to actually just pull off one of the all-time shocks and do us a massive favour. That obviously wasn't to be, despite going 2-1 up in less than 10 minutes on the clock. They obviously play again on Tuesday, so again, it was kind of a draw would do Livy, but couldn't even hold out for a point in the end. Um, I thought it'd be a point apiece at Ibrox, so Rangers winning, no great surprise really. Um, I know that you've said it's with a hint of controversy. I know the decision that you're referring to. Not entirely convinced it is.
I think it can go either way, basically.
I think he's trying to look for it and kind of
Yeah.
initiate the contact.
But we've
But
seen those given a lot this
oh,
season.
100%. And listen, if it was the other way about, dare I say it, it might not result in the same outcome. St Mirren, I did fancy to beat Kilmarnock, but then I realised they've not beaten Kelly back to back in Paisley since 2012, which is just one of those
Wow.
bizarre records. So it's a decent point on the board for Kelly, but as you say, that winless run can't continue if they're to kind of pull away from the bottom two. And Dundee United's draw yet again. I mean, 10 draws in 18 or
Yeah.
19 league games or something mad is insane. Just goes to show what United are like. And everybody can calm down about Aberdeen as well, because I think Hibs will beat them on Tuesday night, off the back of them beating us. So, yeah, I mean, like I say, Celtic was the only one I got correct, but not a great deal of action elsewhere, to be honest.
No, not at all.
I mean that Livingston Celtic game basically would have been a brilliant advert for Scottish football, given the fact that it was on Sky. There was no kind of other games taking place due to the blackout and whatever. But if you'd tuned in somehow to any of the other games, you'd be thinking, Jesus, is there really nothing left on the telly at Christmas time?
Yeah, very fair. Because all the goals happened in the early kickoff, basically.
Yeah.
Hearts travelled
We
to
somehow
Easter
scored
Road.
2. I've got absolutely
I
no
know.
idea how that happened.
Nearly scored 3, you know. And somehow Hibs only scored 3. Just absolutely wild. Listen, as all our Derby game podcasts kind of go, we don't follow the same structure as much, where we go as in depth to each individual chance. We still will do that. I, because I'm a fucking masochist, watched back the full 90 minutes last night when I got back to just kind of
Jesus.
properly
Sorry to hear that.
see what happened. So I have made notes, but it's going to be a lot more free flow than it normally is. However, we will start with the team as we normally do. And Derek McKenna's made one change from the team that beat Rangers at home 2-1 the week prior, with the returning to fitness Craig Halkett coming in for Frankie Kent. And that meant Hearts lined up in their what has recently become standard 4-3-3. Alexander Swallow in goals. Stephen Kingsley kept his place at left back ahead of a returning from suspension Harry Milne. Stuart Finlay and Craig Halkett made up the two centre halves, with Michael Steinvender at right back. A midfield three of Cammy Devlin, Thomas Magnuson and Oisin McEntee, with Claudio Braga on the left, Alexandros Kizaridis on the right, and Lawrence Shanklin through the middle. Now, normally I just ask you, what did you think of that team? But I wanted to ask you two things. One, what did you think of it at the time? And two, what do you make of this discussion now where people say it was the wrong lineup with the benefit of hindsight?
I think I'm going to answer those against chronological order. I think that suggestions regarding the lineup being wrong are a nonsense. I think most would have selected that team given what has
Agreed.
happened in recent fixtures. You're obviously not the biggest Frankie Kent fan, so you would have been happy to see Craig Halkett take his place alongside Stuart Finlay at the back. As was I, because those two have been the standout in that area of the pitch. I would argue in the league. But obviously, it's just after what's happened has happened, they and the team don't necessarily cover themselves in glory. So naturally, people go, "Oh well, it was the wrong team to begin with anyway." When I don't believe that was the case.
Agreed.
I think the only other area that you could possibly argue was somebody else that you mentioned, and that was Harry Milne, obviously returning from suspension. Could you throw him in for Stephen Kingsley? But I think we even said on the podcast last episode that would have been harsh, because Kingsley's been more than capable in the absence of Harry Milne. So, yeah, not particularly surprising. In terms of selection, what was surprising was just the team's performance and how they went about their business, how they tried to carry out and execute the game plan. Because it became apparent that we just didn't really have one, or if we did, Hibs went out to ensure that we wouldn't follow it quite as strategically, with obviously the early start that they got off to.
And that early start was within 90 seconds. Hibs take the lead as Dan Barlaser switches a long ball from his own half to Nicky Cadden. He goes face-to-face with Michael Steinvender, crosses into the box where an unmarked Jamie McGrath scores. Now, I think the two important points from this, I'm not putting as much emphasis on the pass from Barlaser, because he's in his own half. He's just went for a big switch. It's kind of like, I've seen some people be like, that should be closed down. It's like, come on, we're a minute in. Like, the problems for me
is the
are
cross.
surely, and in fairness, I'm saying surely, but McInnes and Shankland have said this afterwards. All the prep in the week was, can we stop Nicky Cadden crossing balls in? Because that's his entire MO. Steinvender, listen, there's been a lot of talk about Michael Steinvender. We are fans of him on this podcast, but it was as I described him as if a Hibs fan was controlling him with a PS5 controller because it just was comically bad how bad he was. He does not stop the cross. He doesn't get close enough. He's not tight enough. And also, another man we love, Cammy Devlin does what he did against Celtic when McGregor scored at Tynecastle, where he goes to the ball rather than looking what's behind him. And as a result, it leaves McGrath completely unmarked. He does still very well. He puts it into the ground,
Good
so
finish.
the bounce kind of does swallow. But yeah, just there literally could not be a worse way to start the game.
No, and I'm a fan of a fast start. This was
Yeah,
the
it was a
epitome
fast start for them.
it was the epitome of a sluggish start. I think from a Hearts perspective, just cut the cross from the get go.
Aye.
Stop the shit at its source. It's basic stuff. Michael Steinvender, we have been singing his praises recently, and
Which is deservedly, because he's been
deservedly so.
excellent.
And we've got away with it in games that we've won, but obviously here's a defeat, and you're then able to highlight just how poor he was. He looked as though he'd had one too many mince pies, or was kind of maybe consumed too much brandy on his Christmas pudding. Like he was all over the shop, and I mean Nicky Cadden isn't particularly quick. I think he's got a lovely left foot.
Aye.
And I think we've kind of seen this at Tynecastle as well, where he crossed for Dwight Gale.
Yeah.
This was kind of very, very similar, not in terms of the area and type of finish, but it's a cross from the wide area that Hibs have punished us with. Previously, like this is nothing new, and the fact that we've left somebody of Jamie McGrath's capability unmarked, virtually. What is he, kind of on the edge of the area or just inside the box, is absolutely criminal. Good finish. I think it's past Swallow in a flash, who has no chance. But just an infuriating goal to concede, particularly when the manager and captain have highlighted that this is something that we've been working on. And like I say, it's kind of ghosts of Derby past are haunting us once again here.
Yeah. An interesting point. So, as I said last week, I wasn't able to get a ticket, so I was watching it at home. But
There was I.
my dad and my brother were there, and it's how much do you look into this? And again, with the benefit of hindsight, people will look into stuff a lot more. But my dad just said that I could mention it on the show. My dad and my brother got in really early, just because they were up early.
You have to
So yeah, exactly. Aye. So
usually
they were in whilst all the warm-ups were happening. And my dad had turned to my brother 10 minutes before they came going, we are not at it here, by the way. Because they were doing rondos and just passing the ball out the rondos constantly. And my dad was like, I think they did about 40 shots. And I think they scored about 2 between them as a squad. And he's kind of sat there going, hopefully they're getting it out their system now. But it is interesting that even from the warm-up, folk were going, well, we didn't look at this at all.
No, that's very concerning. I didn't know that. But yeah, it is bizarre how you look at something like that, or you look at kind of the early exchanges of a game and think, we're in trouble here. That does not bode well. I mean, the consolation that we take is that I feel like Hibs always do this at Easter Road. I feel like they always try and put us under pressure early. Obviously, they crack us here, but you've then got all that time to try and make amends. Like, had Hearts equalised in, say, the first half, and got in at half-time at 1 each, you'd be thinking, okay, this is there for us, like, in front of our own fans. Somebody could step up, be the hero. We walk out of there with a 2-1 win or 3-1 victory, whatever. But it really did take a while for us to get going. And And to be honest, when you kind of look back at chances and the highlights of the 90 minutes, there's only really one in the first half where
Well,
we go close.
we're at it because there's a couple others. Kieran Bowie hits a tame effort for the edge of the box in the 10th minute, but on the 18th
From a
minute,
Hearts perspective, we'd done nothing
we'd done
in that
nothing.
first 45, McIver.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. The only thing that potentially was 18 minutes in, Stephen Kingsley puts in a wonderful ball into the box.
Justified his selection nearly.
Aye, 100%.
Harry Milne would not have crossed it that deeply, I don't
No,
think.
not at all.
And not kind of right on Shanklin's dome.
And it is met by Lawrence Shankland, but it is just wide of the left post. I saw Joel Sked say that the XG of that chance was 0.06. But it's a testament to Shankland that it feels like a massive miss that he's missed it.
It definitely it highlights his caliber, or kind of the esteem to which we hold Lawrence Shankland, because had it fallen to anybody else, we'd be thinking, oh, he'd do well to work the goalkeeper there. Or like if he hits the target, that's decent enough, and maybe we could try and get a rebound or whatever. But even kind of when you watch it in real time on the telly, like the angle that they've got doesn't really do it justice. It's only when you see the replay of behind the goal, and you see it just narrowly graze past the post, that you think if they'd just gone like an inch or two that other side, we could have been onto an equaliser. But a great ball from Stephen Kingsley, absolutely delicious delivery, and I think Shankland does everything right. He's just unfortunate. You know, it's not like the Rangers game recently where he scored his trickiest chance.
Yeah.
Like, this was very much a case of he couldn't have done a lot more. He's very unlucky. But it was then kind of after that, a response to that chance wasn't, okay, like, they're on the ropes a wee bit here, we can try and carve out another couple opportunities. Stick to what we do best, what we do well. But the thing I can't fathom the most in terms of how this derby panned out is, to me, for the vast majority, if not all of kind of that first hour, it just looked as though Hibs wanted it more, and that's something that I can't get to grips with. I can't deal with, because I understand for them it's a scalp, because we go to their patch as league leaders. They want to be the ones to ultimately knock us off our perch and kind of derail our challenge at the top. But ultimately, if we want to be towards kind of the top end of the table, we'd played 18 matches, then you've got 20 cup finals left.
Yeah.
This is the first test, and we've failed it.
Yeah.
Whereas now we'll go into games where there is a pressure to bounce back from this derby defeat against Livingston. There is a pressure to keep that going against Dundee. There's a pressure to even get through in the cup against Falkirk. Like, this is part and parcel of being a team that is vying for, you know, the top places in the table. Can you carry that pressure when the pressure is on you and you're expected to get a result regardless of opponent? How do you handle that? And this was very much a test in that Hibs were right at it from the off. There was no way that they were going to let us leave with another 3 points towards what will hopefully be a successful season. And that basically, that was kind of their let off, I think. That was kind of Hibs' first warning that we're not here to piss about. We've still got players that can make the difference in the final third. I just felt as though they did a really good job of nullifying that threat and then looking to hurt us in their final third themselves.
McKinnon said it afterwards, Shanklin said it afterwards, and most fans have said it afterwards, where it's like, they just did the derby basics better than us.
Yeah.
And it is just... So, I was saying, we are too young to remember the Millennium Derbies. We were alive for them, but we were respectively 3 and 2 when they were happening. So, for me, the worst derby performance we've ever had in our lifetime is the replay at Easter Road in 2016, right? In terms of just
the 1-0?
Like, yeah, when Augustine gets sent off and just like...
Oh no, I seem to remember Hibs beating us 3-1, I think.
Oh yeah, the next season, Isma Misses a penalty, but then scores a rebound and stuff like that. Take your pick, right? Either of them within a year. I think the first 70 minutes of this game was up there with the worst I've ever seen us against them in terms of just doing nothing. So it's not like, I mean, we'll get to the second half. There was that Shankland chance,
and that was literally it from a Hearts perspective.
So that's what I was going to say.
We didn't have a shot on target till about 60 or 68 minutes or something.
22nd minute, McEntee heads wide for a free kick, and in the 35th minute, Braga goes for a bicycle kick, but it's well wide. Why I mentioned Braga, because I feel like this was the first game where we've seen him in that left wing position where we're like, yeah, he's a striker. He's not a left winger. He was given... Now, a lot of people are really critical of him, right? But he wasn't given anything.
No, he wasn't. But equally, we voiced our concern when he was put out there in the League Cup group stage back in bloody August and July and wherever the hell it was. What I also do find strange is, I know we've kind of talked about selection. My qualm wasn't necessarily with personnel, but equally, I think Kizaridis is far more effective on the left-hand side than he is the right.
Yes, 100%.
Because he can cut onto his right peg.
Yep.
And I think Braga, I do like Claudio Braga, don't get me wrong, but it seems to be kind of all sugar or all shite at the minute. And that he's either the best player on the park and amazing, or nothing quite happens for him, but he'll still work his bollocks off to try and make it happen. But I just feel like it's got to be his day, or he's not really at the races.
I feel like, though, I know what you mean, right? I definitely know what you mean. I maybe put more emphasis onto that, even when he's having an off day. He's so energetic and he does stuff 100%, that other people wouldn't do.
That to me is one of his most appealing qualities.
Yeah. Maybe though it's just as simple as if he was doing it all the time, he wouldn't be here.
Maybe, but equally, he tries to make amends for when he knows that it's not his best game, because he still wants to contribute and he still wants to help the team out as much as he can.
100%.
But here, as you say, he's not a left winger. And he's predominantly right-footed anyway, so I think he's going to be cutting back just as Kizaridis would.
Yeah.
So why you would try and make Kizaridis less effective?
Yeah, you're making them both less effective
on the left-hand side. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Kizaridis is clearly more capable on the left, cutting in on his right, with kind of Braga just occupying the left back or just being a pest to whoever else is out there on the other side.
Yeah.
And equally, sorry again, but
you're fine.
Steinwender could have been helped out by Braga if Braga was over on that side.
Yeah,
in my
100%.
opinion. Kizaridis is a no tracky backy. You're not getting that same defensive output. I'm not going to see Kizaridis can. How am I explaining this? Kizaridis can put that effort in the final third, but you're never going to see him head back from halfway. Really,
he sometimes does it. In fairness to him, there's been a couple of times where I've noticed he's trying back, but no, Braga fucking is like he's doing shuttle runs. Exactly.
And that's what I was going to say. I think Hibs' press was actually really good. From the
it was really effective.
I thought Kieran Bowie was the best player in the park by a million miles. I thought he was absolutely everywhere.
I couldn't believe he didn't get booked. But
me neither.
Yeah,
but flying into challenges, his hold up play was good.
Aye,
He's for actually quite a big, stocky guy. He can shift.
Yep.
I thought Kieran Bowie was very, very good.
I thought McGrath and Mulligan did really well. He smothered Devlin as well.
100%. Like I say, they were what I would want from my Hearts team. They were all over us, not allowing us a second to breathe, and essentially suffocated us and just kind of putting to bed any kind of creativity or any kind of chance that we wanted to create was just not happening today on their patch.
And it's weird, right? Because I think, hello Hibs fans, because I know you're here. I think a lot of Hibs fans will kind of be coming to this going, great, ranting and raving about how, they weren't even very good, but they still beat us. I have no beaten. I'm somebody who can be like, yeah, we were just well beaten. I'm annoyed at that, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, excuses and fucking hell, all this kind of part. They were better than us.
Beaten by the better team without a shadow of
100%.
The relief, or not relief, it's not kind of, I don't know. Like you mentioned the Millennium Derbies, I actually was thinking it's been a while since Hibs properly pumped us, battered us. They'll win like a 1-0 or a 2-1.
Well, that would have been at 3-0. It was heading to be the heaviest derby defeat in our lifetimes, basically. Yeah, 25 years.
So there you go. I was thinking this. If we're not careful, we could be on the end of an absolute doing here.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
that,
I guess you give us credit for that, but really, that's as much credit as I'm going to dish out
yeah,
to
that is
anybody of
very
a
fair.
maroon persuasion.
Just for half time, Hibs double their lead from basically the same problem. Bowie works it out to McGrath on the far side, who just kind of walks past McEntee and Steinvender. Again, we don't stop the cross. Swings it in. It's met by Josh Campbell, and it goes past Swallow. At 2-0, you're kind of thinking, we've done nothing here. But there was a part of me, which was immediately proved wrong, thinking, surely we can't be any worse in the second half.
And then we got off to that start.
Well, right. Let's speak about this start because so I was sat there going to my sister, going, who's just sat blank faced, going, I don't care what any of this means. Going, we should bring on Benny, we should bring on Milne, and we should take off Steinvender, and we should take off McEntee. Those are the two I would have done. So the personnel coming on, I was really happy with. I was like, perfect.
So who'd you have had at right back then?
I would have played either Kingsley or Milne at right back.
Okay.
But I was like, okay, personnel, fine. Let's just see. Okay, Kingsley's coming off. Feel like that's a bit harsh, but it might be that he's hurt or something like that. And McEntee, fine. I do not understand how Steinvender stayed on the pitch, but fine.
Neither.
I'm like, okay, right, I see. We're doing this. That is the right subs on at least. But I did not expect a formation change to playing a three at the back with Harry Milne at right wing back and Kizaridis at left wing back. Now, we are obviously about to speak about the third goal. There has been a lot of talk about Stuart Finlay after this game. Craig Cairns, for the Heart Standing, made the point that he felt Finlay was hung out to dry a wee bit in the first 20 minutes of the second half because you're saying about how Kizaridis won't track back. As a result, Finlay is playing a left-sided centre-half with no left back.
No fixture on the left-hand side. Yeah.
Nothing at all. So, obviously, Stuart Finlay plays a terrible pass. He tries to go forward. McInnes says in that moment we should just stop, turn, play it back to the keeper and start again. But we're trying to play forward. It's intercepted by Hibs. It falls to Kieran Bowie, who puts Hibs 3-0 up. He just missed another chance just a couple of minutes before, which Swallow saved, and it was kind of the warning shot. But it was immediately apparent that we did not know what the system was.
No, not a clue. And even the third goal is just like anything that could have gone wrong did go wrong.
Yeah.
From a Hearts perspective. Because I've seen kind of discussion as well about you mentioned people having a go at Finlay. I've seen one or two messages about Alexander Swallow, and I'm thinking
That's
I don't
wild.
think he's at fault for any of the
Any
goals.
of them.
Jamie McGrath's is a phenomenal finish, the first goal. Josh Campbell's header is outrageous.
Yeah.
Why Hibs fans slate and tear this guy a new one. And every single derby, he turns into fucking prime Zinedine Zidane for whatever reason. Why?
As soon as I saw Nicky Cadden coming off, I was like, oh, that's good. And then I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's Campbell.
What? I don't understand it, at all. I can't. I don't get it. He's clearly got it in for us for whatever reason. Which
it was kind of the Halliday situation against them, where Halliday just turned into Zidane every time he played them for him.
Absolutely bizarre. And I think that's a phenomenal header because it's literally right in the corner. Perfect finish. And even here, it's a 1-on-1 really, and it comes from a ricochet, and just us not putting pressure on Kieran Bowie, who was, Hibs star man on the day.
Immediately after it, literally from kickoff, Hibs break in somehow a 4v2.
Oh my god!
Josh Mulligan, however, he just got too excited and just shoots instead of crossing it to one of three people, namely Martin Boyle, who was completely free at the back post.
Who's rightfully raging at him as well, because that would have really been good night.
At that point, you're thinking, as you're saying, yeah, this is it. This is going to be the worst derby defeat we can remember. We are at 6s and 7s. And I want to say, because it isn't in the highlights. But about 10 minutes later, there's another chance where they break through, and Halkett goes to the ball, but then he realises there's an overload, stays back and tackles Boyle to prevent him from getting 4. He conceded 3 goals, and I still think Halkett was our second best player on the day. Halkett was fantastic.
Behind who?
Benny.
Yeah. And what does that say when Benny Beningame was introduced as pretty much a half-time sub?
Yeah. Kizzy almost single-handedly got us back into the game, but I'm still too annoyed at his first 75 minutes.
But again, Kizarides' best chances come from the left flank.
Yeah, he got moved over and we changed shape again in the 70th minute to give him protection, and it allowed him to actually take on Megwa.
So, exactly. The young lad Megwa pocketed Braga, really.
Yeah.
Against Kizarides, he had absolutely no idea what to do. Even though Kizarides' trademark move
it's just getting
from the left-hand side and shift it onto his right foot to have a pop at goal.
Aye.
I don't know. It felt like... did we overthink it ever so slightly?
Maybe.
Just in kind of the forward areas? Or what is that down to? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
Well, from there, you think, well, this is a hiding onto nothing. But suddenly, in the last 15 minutes, Hearts kind of go, oh yeah, we're top of the league. We're actually all right. Because 75th minute, as you just said, Kizzy beats Megwa and hits a shot for the edge of the box. It is tipped over by Salinger. From the ensuing corner, we then play it short, and Kizzy crosses it in to Lawrence Shankland, who heads it in at the far corner. Now, I will be honest, I did not even react. I think I blinked when it went in, because I was like, well, this is too little too late. But it then did turn into a shift of momentum.
Yeah, I kind of spoken about ghosts of Derby's past. Maybe they'd moved over to Easter Road rather than occupying Tynecastle, and just Hibs were kind of on the back foot all of a sudden, having battered us for a good hour plus. There's only one team in it, and then Hearts grab what's the smallest lifeline from nowhere, and panic just sets in down halfway. Because again, I don't think it's a great delivery by any means. I just think it's a phenomenal header from Shankland.
Yeah.
And then you do kind of have a little look at the clock and you think, right, okay, well, if we can force another, you never know. Could be a happy Graham Weir situation all over again. Yeah. But no, it was kind of... I get what you mean. It was a very muted celebration because obviously it would have taken a Christmas miracle for Hearts to pull that off. So I do get that.
It nearly happened because 10 minutes later, but too little too late, in the 89th minute, Kizzy again cuts in against Megwa, hits a speculative effort from the edge of the box, but Salinger flaps at it, and Cammy Devlin, of all people, rushes in, he tap in, and at that point you're thinking, we've just heard there's going to be 5 minutes added on.
He scores a tackle.
Who knows? He does score. Him and Benny just score tackles. But as we say, even in the same kind, we celebrate, finish, kick off. Kizzy breaks down the left, does really well, breaks at the box, finds Shankland, but instead of flapping at it, Salinger makes a very good save to put out for a corner.
It's an unbelievable save. He should score, but it's an unbelievable save.
But it's a ridiculous save. And then again, 2 minutes later, Benny Beningame is shooting and Salinger tips it over. It's too little too late. But
when does Benny Beningame have this in the locker?
I know.
This game recently as well. Was it St Mirren?
Yeah.
Was it Paisley? Yeah,
Paisley.
And he does virtually the exact same thing.
The exact same thing.
What has this been for 5 years?
Yeah,
you could do this.
He's out of contract. He can sign on a Bosman for somebody now. And he's like, oh, by the way.
Yeah. He's had a look at the games on Sky on the telly and he thinks, well, the English won't be watching anything else. So maybe I can put myself in the shop window here.
Exactly.
Fuck me.
So many people have spoken about the fact that this final kind of 10-15 minutes has made a lot of Hearts fans calm down a wee bit, because it did kind of feel like if that's a 3-0, it is a marker in the sand of this is a disastrous result. What happens then? Whereas you're
still a disastrous result as far as I'm concerned.
But I mean, in terms of squad mentality,
oh yeah,
they're thinking we're a goalie's boot away from rescuing a 3-0 loss to a 3-3 draw. it's important for the squad to have had this comeback, but I think the General Hearts fan base response is, why could you not have just done that for the first minute?
100%. And you mentioned goal difference last week. Like, yeah, we've clawed a couple back. It's only -1 as opposed to -3.
Yeah.
Could have been about -5 or 6.
Aye.
But yeah, it's there's no doubt. I mean, don't get me wrong. As much as I'd have loved for us to have left with a point from 3-0 down,
It would have been an utter disgrace.
it would have been hilarious, but it would have been daylight robbery because
Yeah.
it would have just been so unjust. Because for the most part we were just largely ineffective. And I actually think that's. I don't think Hibs will get the credit that they deserve. Because we are the media darlings for whatever reason, and obviously, as we're picking up points, that story only grows.
I mean, Chris Boyd had a go at them for winning.
Yeah, but that's just him. But I thought it was Hibs making us ineffective rather than just us being poor on the day.
Yeah, I would agree.
I thought their attitude and their application was bang at it right from the start, whereas ours was kind of like a sleepy start, and maybe there was a couple of the squad out on Boxing Day. That's what it felt like.
Well, listen, Christmas and New Year's a time for giving, so I'll be sick doing it, but I'll give Hibs credit. They were well worthy winners on the day. Obviously, as
don't
we
give
say,
them any fucking further credit at Tynecastle, and don't repeat defeat at Tynecastle, or I will not be happy.
There's obviously been a lot of talk about the right-hand side of the pitch. And this week, it looks like reinforcements are coming because all season we've heard about Islam Chesnikov, who apparently will be arriving. We're recording this on Monday the 29th of December. Will apparently be arriving in the country in the kind of race to make it fit for Saturday. But it looks like we will have someone else fit and ready to go for Saturday because just before Christmas, we were linked with Dutch right-back Jordi Altena, who is currently at RKC.
Waalwijk, is it?
Waalwijk, that's what I think it is. I'm not totally sure, though.
So. There's just letters that crop up in funny places, and it's made to look more daunting than it maybe is. Let's go with Waalwijk.
Waalwijk, they're a Dutch team, and he is a Dutch man. So, right back, the rumour is the deal is about £500,000 that we are paying for him, so roughly a Claudio Braga. And in the evening news, I've just got the wee write-up here. Who is Jordi Altena? Jordi Altena is a 22-year-old right-back from the Netherlands. He will apparently sign a 3.5 deal with Hearts. He started his career as a number 10 in Vitesse, and last season spent his time at an amateur side who play in the country's third tier. However, I've seen people on Reddit say, I didn't know this, the Dutch third tier is like amateur in name only, and it's like a closed shop where a lot of the teams are actually better than the second tier, but because the second tier is professional, they don't want to open the tiers, so it's really hard to go up to that second tier from the third tier.
Do the reserves play like the young Ajax and young PSV? Do they play in the second tier or do they play in the third tier?
I think they play in the second tier.
They play in the second, right, okay.
I think. I'm not totally sure, but I think so. A clause in his contract with that amateur side allowed him to get back into professional football immediately with the current team he's with, RKC. He signed a 1-year deal with them. However, 14 days into his time, they extended that to being a 2.5-year deal because they just immediately were like, yep. This season, he's been playing right back, as we say, and he has 4 goals and 8 assists in 15 games. So, pretty ridiculous numbers for a right back. As I say, the stats make for impressive reading. He's second in offensive duels with 11.5 per 90 and a 50% success rate, which is the highest of anybody. Compare that in Scotland. St Mirren wing back Conor McMenamin has a 39% success rate, and closer to home, Oisin McEntee has a 45% success rate, and Steinwender has a 40% success rate, so he's far higher than them. He's a top 5 dribbler, deep completion hitter. He likes to overlap a lot. However, he's also top 15 for defensive duels, top 16 in defensive recoveries. He seems like our own Zinchenko or Nunes from a right back into Arsenal and Man City persuasion. It is an area of the pitch we've spoken about pretty much every week as Hearts fans. Christian Borchgrevink,
July and August.
Yeah, Christian Borchgrevink is in his own wee limbo. He wasn't on the bench again at the weekend with rumours that he's hurt still, rumours that he's still not in full training.
I just don't think he's fancied.
That aspect of it as well. McEntee and Steinvender have been filling in, as we say. It feels like if this guy comes in and is even halfway decent, he will play every game for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just pleased that the club are kind of identifying these problem areas and are looking to address it as early as we possibly can.
Yep.
So, yeah, very encouraging. Yeah, it just seems like a bit of a baller. I mean, it's going to be tricky to see how it translates to Scottish football, but
Yep.
As always with these types of signings, we know absolutely nothing about them. We hope that the computer's not got a virus, and we'll see them hopefully, develop and progress, and yeah, we can just see what happens. I'm just pleased that it's a right back playing right back, although I didn't know anything with regards to kind of his previous formations, but I feel like the Dutch do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is kind of stemmed from like Cruyff over the years, but it seems like they make you into a player that's able to be like a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Whereas hopefully here he's a master at right back. So.
It is literally this season he's started playing right back. Every other season he's been a 10, or the last 2 seasons he was playing as like a number 8.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, Declan Rice has filled in at right back for Arsenal recently, so there you go. If he's anything like Declan Rice, I'll be a very happy chap.
That's the bar. That's the bar, Jordy. You need to be at Declan Rice levels for Adam Kennedy.
100 mil you'll do for me, son.
Well, it's looking like a very high chance he could make his debut this weekend against Livingston. Now,
dream game for him, it sounds like.
Yep, exactly.
Go and break down this horrendous haramball performance from right back.
Normally, I am of... If you've listened to this podcast regularly, hello Hibs fans if you're still here, you might not know this. I am often a results over performance man. I'm very much someone who just thinks, get the result, get out of Dodge with the 3 points. But after Saturday, and who we're playing, I will be annoyed if we don't also play very well. That does not mean I'm wanting 3 or 4-0. I would love that. But if we come out of that with a 1-0 or a 2-1 and you're sat there going, how was that 2-1? We absolutely dominated. Their keeper made 100 saves and
like
we just switched off for a bit.
At 3-2.
Yes, exactly. I want us to... We want a response, basically. We want a response after Saturday. And
how
looking at the stats...
that we'll get one?
Very. I am very confident. Livingston last won. When they come to Tynecastle on the 3rd of January, it will be 4 months to the day they last won a game.
Provided they don't beat Dundee United.
Yes, we release this the afternoon of their game.
You just know full well they're going to beat United now. You better get down the bookies.
Exactly. But let's just say Dundee United do what we expect them to do and not lose.
And draw.
Yeah. Well, Livingston have got a few draws, in fairness to them, but they last won at the first game of the season, and that was at home. They have been clearly the worst team in the league. It's the reason Dundee and Killie are still in with a shout of staying up, to be honest, because of Livingston's awful form. We obviously really struggled against them in the away fixture and needed Kizzy at the end, but that was when we weren't really sure what we were doing. We weren't clicking properly, and Kizzy was dropped for that. Kizzy wasn't even starting. He came on at half time. Came off at half time. Within 30 seconds, he'd got an assist for Braga. Yeah. What team would you like to see? Because I personally would make a lot of changes.
I'll tell you what, the floor is yours. If you're adamant that you're going to make a lot of changes, I'm going to hear your 11 and I'll say whether I agree with it or not.
I would like to caveat this with, I think Derek McInnes will play the same team that played against Hibs, with the caveat of I think he'll play Altena if he's in.
Wow. So you don't think Harry Milne will come back either? No.
Or maybe Milne will, yeah. Maybe Milne will. But I mean, I
Okay.
think he'll still play that midfield three. I think he'll still play Braga on the left
I
and
don't
everything
know.
like
He
that.
likes Benny. I can see Benny coming back
True.
in, to be honest.
I hope
Go
I'm
on.
wrong though, but this is the team I'd play. If
Right.
and by the way, this is with the caveat that Chesnikov is not ready because
Okay.
he's not even been announced yet. So I'm not gonna act like
Well,
I've got him.
neither's the Dutch fullback, but
True,
sure.
but it looks like he's coming in, right? So Schwallow in goals, a back four of Harry Milne, Stuart Finlay, Craig Halkett, Jordi Altena.
Okay.
Left mid Kizaridis, right mid Sabaka Jota, a
I knew you were
two
going to say that.
of Benny and Devlin, Braga Shankland up front. Kajota came up, we never even fucking mentioned him. Kajota came on and within 30 seconds put in a better ball than anybody had done all day. There's rumour
Why?
I've heard over
Why is he not featured?
well,
It's really
over
it's
Christmas,
it's so
I
bizarre.
heard that part of the reason he's not playing is because he's apparently not settled very well into Edinburgh. Right? That's fair enough. We've signed a bunch of guys for different parts of the world. There's always going to be someone. But a part of me thinks, well, how is he meant to settle if he's not getting any game time and can't ingratiate himself fully into a squad? So there is no better game to give him his first start
Then
in the
Livingston
league than at
at
home
home.
to bottom of the league. If he, I do kind of feel like if he doesn't play, what's he going to do? Because then
Yeah.
Chesnikov's coming in. Alan Forrest has been getting played ahead of him. Harry Milne's been getting played on the right hand side.
Can we park that pish as well?
Yeah, that is I'd play a 4-4-2, and I don't mean that as like a let's rip everything up and start again. I just think our team best plays in that, but I think he'll still play Magnuson, McEntee, Devlin. Benny might come in. McEntee might get dropped for Benny, and they play that midfield three. I just hope he just puts Kizzy in his natural position. I hope he just puts Benny in his natural position. Yep. I hope he plays Braga in his natural position. That's what I'd go with. And I'm going, I know you've not said your team yet, I'm going 3-0.
I don't think it's going to be as convincing as that at all. I really don't. I'd love for it to be, but I can't. I think this will be a struggle. Or not a struggle, but I think it'll be uncomfy.
Laborious.
Yeah. I think the best it will do is by a 2-goal margin. So I'll optimistically say 2-0. And in terms of the team,
What do you think of my team? Would you like that?
I think again it screams that we need creativity in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
Like because Benny, Devlin, Magnuson doesn't really play that killer pass either. McEntee doesn't.
I just
I,
really hope Aju is what McInnes is saying he is.
yeah, I think Benny Bingham is the only one that plays that killer pass from time
Yeah.
to time out of the lot of them. So I don't know. The midfield's probably the only kind of real issue. Like even would you stick McEntee back to right back again? Like I'm not really keen on it, but if the Dutch fella can't play just yet, are you really
Yeah.
going to throw him in here? This might be the best game to throw him into, but I don't know.
The dream, by the way, is that
I
him
could see
and
McEntee nipping
Chesnikov
back there.
are
Yeah, are
both
fit to play.
in ready, fit to play.
But can you see that? No, I can't.
Nah. Chesnikov, I just don't think so because he's literally played a full season and now is arriving, whereas Altena is just at the same stage of his season as we are with ours.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll go Swallow. I think Milne will come back in. I just don't know where. But I'll say it left back, even though it would be quite harsh on Kingsley. Milne, he'll go Finlay and Halkett again, provided that Halkett doesn't break down.
I've just realised we never spoke about that. Craig Halkett got a new deal
Yeah,
until
new deal.
2028, and I am buzzing for him. Very
Yeah.
happy. He's our best defender by an absolute country mile. There's nobody close to him.
And you know what? He's earned it because
Yep.
if it had been up to me, it would have been bye bye in the summer. So I've got no qualms. He's well and truly earned it. He's in the shape of his life.
Yeah.
It was up until the weekend in the form of his life.
Yeah. I still think he was one of our best players.
So yeah, no qualms about that. I think I've got a strange and sneaky feeling that he might put McEntee back to right back. You know?
Maybe.
I
Yeah, he
don't know
might.
why. And then I think he'll go Benny, Devlin, Magnuson, better be Kizarides on the left. He's not going to drop Shankland, which then leaves Braga or Carjota, and he'll probably go Braga.
Yeah. I
Even
wouldn't
though
be
he's not a right
surprised
winger.
at all with your team. I think your team has a much higher chance of happening.
Yeah. But equally, I would like to see, like, this is the game to make some changes in,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, although there's a pressure to now bounce back with a win, so
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Well, before we say goodbye for the new year, we have one final quiz to go.
All
I,
right.
I've tried to not focus on much negativity, but the first question
Oh
is
dear
quite
God.
negative. So, as ever, we have a true or false, two normal questions, a multiple choice, and the who am I.
Oh,
Your
Jesus.
first question is just a normal question.
Okay.
Who was the last Hearts goal scorer to score in a Derby loss before Saturday? So the answer would be Devlin right now, but
Uh-huh.
take away that game.
I think it's George Grant because I'm fairly certain that was the last derby that my dad saw, and I despise Jack Iredale as a result. So I'm fairly certain it was a George Grant equaliser. I've no idea who scored the winner. Sorry, the opener for Hibs that day. Was
Is it
it
no
Boyle?
Boyle?
No, I think it might have been.
I think it was Boyle.
But yeah, George Grant is the answer. I'm pretty sure.
He's off to a good start. He's 1 for 1. It was George
My
Grant in the
mate.
ninth minute at Easter Road.
Jesus.
Your next question is true or false? True or false? Hearts are unbeaten against Livingston in the last 3 games at Tynecastle.
Unbeaten against Livingston in the last
Yes.
3 games at Tynecastle. I couldn't tell you when Livy's last win was at Tynecastle.
Now, I can tell you, for just even the 3 games, you have to go back a couple of seasons due to them being relegated.
Of course.
So we go all the way back to the 22-23 season for one of these.
I genuinely can't. I can't think of a Livy win at Tynecastle, and if they have, then I wholeheartedly apologise. So I'm going to say true. Must be.
It is true. Hearts have won the last 2 and drawn 1 of the 3, so we are unbeaten the last 3.
Was the draw the last minute Janelle equaliser?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Well done. 22-23.
And I seem to remember a 1-0 Vargas winner.
Yes. Can you get the other one?
And 1-0 Vargas winner. Was it then the equaliser was before that? So this is the one before the equaliser. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh. Was this in the cup on pens? No.
No.
This is in the league.
Yes.
I
I now need to find it.
Oh no, I remember it. Was it not a Stephen Kelly scored a wonder goal if my memory serves me? And did we win 2-1?
So, where is it?
I seem to
No,
remember
but you're
Stephen Kelly
right
scored
that
a
Stephen
really good
Kelly
goal.
scored a good goal. He scored twice, actually. We won
Bloody hell.
4-2.
4-2.
All 4 goals. We were 2-0 down.
Oh my
first-
God.
First 20 minutes. 13th of
Jesus.
April 2024. We were 2-0 down in the 22nd minute. Then George Grant scores in the 29th. Yutaro Oda scores in the 32nd. Cammy Devlin scores in the 40th. And Lawrence Shankland scores a penalty in the 6th minute of added on time.
I don't remember that
And then
at all. That's
Tete
terrible.
Yengi gets sent off on the hour mark as well. So an
Wow.
action 6 goals in the first half.
Bloody hell.
It was
No,
the
I
last
don't-
game before
I
the
don't remember
split.
that at all. Wow. Fair play.
So yeah, but you're 2 for 2. Could you get
Not bad.
back-to-back 5s after never getting one before?
No, is the answer. Because of what's about to come here.
What was the score in the last game against Livingston, and who are the goal scorers?
What do you want? All 3 from the reverse fixture.
Yes.
Lewis Smith scored their opener. Claudio Braga equalised for Hearts, and then Alexandros Kisarides netted the winner.
He's 3 for 3. He's
Come
doing
on,
it.
let's go.
Right. And this is your multiple choice as well.
Oh, you say this like it's not going to be a cruel question. Just going to have to go on something. Go on vibes.
It is, I'll be honest, it's quite vibes based, right? So this season,
Okay.
on New Year's Day, Hearts will have 41 points. But
Oh,
how many points did we have last year? Oh, well, this year on New Year's Day as we
okay.
record. Is it 15, 16, 17, or 18?
I have absolutely no idea.
Do you want to know the last game we played before New Year, if that helps you at all?
Yeah, please. I'm trying to think back.
It was the lowest point of the season. The 2-2 draw in Dingwall, where we were 2-0
Oh,
up in the
Jesus
95th minute.
Christ.
So just, again, everybody, a wee bit of perspective of where we are. This is where we were this time
Oh
last year.
my God. And James Wilson scored a brace, could add a hat trick.
Yep.
Did we get a penalty that day or was it overturned? Did we miss
We
a
got a
pen?
penalty and it was overturned.
Yeah. I seem to remember wanting us to give him the ball to complete
Yep.
his hat trick. Um, oh, let's just go with 18. I don't know. What should be 17?
It's 17!
Ah, it's fucking annoying. Of course
We'd
it is.
also we'd also played a game more. We'd played 20
Wow.
games.
We had 17 points from 20 games.
Yes. A possible 60 points, we had
Jesus.
17. Right now, from a possible 57 points, we've got 41.
That's wild.
So just a wee bit of perspective. The Derby loss was bad, but Jesus Christ, the honeymoon period is not over for Derek McInnes.
Do you know what's mental though? Say we replicated that 41 points from our next 19 games exactly.
Hmm.
82 points. Would that still be enough to
I think it's
finish
kind of like
even top
most.
two?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Top two should be enough.
Definitely, yeah.
But it just goes to show, like, as
How
much as the old
good you
firm have
have to
been
be.
mints, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We've lost 2 of 19, and it's like, if Celtic win tomorrow night, they're on equal
Uh,
points.
exactly. Like, blasphemous.
Wild. Are you ready for the Who Am I?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm pissed off I'm not going to get five now. I'll be more, even more angry if I get this. Who am I?
Yeah. So, are you ready?
Hit me with it.
I have exclusively played in Scotland.
Oh, Christ.
I have played for 10 different clubs. I made my Hearts debut in an Edinburgh Derby at Easter Road. I am technically a former club captain, and I made my debut for 2 of my other clubs against Hearts. Who am I?
Ooh. Interesting character, this one.
Yep.
Exclusively in Scotland. Made his Hearts debut, what, in an Edinburgh Derby at Easter Road? Did you say that?
Yep.
And made his debut for 2 other clubs against Hearts.
Yep. I think you've got to kick yourself no getting that multiple choice because I think this is quite easy.
You say this, but like nobody's
Yeah,
nobody's
but
coming to me
depending
at
on your
all.
question, if there's a certain question where if you ask it, you will get it without any other questions.
I've got to ask the years for which they in which they played for Hearts because I can't. I need a time frame.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna ask for the seasons that they played for Hearts, please, McIver.
2010 to 2015.
2010 to 2015. Ooh. Right, okay. And you said they'd played for 10 other Scottish clubs, is that right?
Yes.
Ten's a lot. See, I'm thinking somebody like, oh, no, 2010, that can't be right. Oh, played exclusively in Scotland,
Yep.
2010 to 2015. Made their debut at Easter Road. Oh my God. And what did you say? Made their debut for 2 other teams against Hearts.
Yeah, so 2 of his other clubs, his debut was against us.
2015. Oh my God. I'm gonna. Oh no, think about this. Yeah, I'm gonna ask for the list of clubs in order because I can't. I need to try and piece it together. I can't. I can't think as to who this is.
Edinburgh City, Heart of Midlothian. Whilst at Hearts, on loan to Pennycook Athletic and Stenhouse Muir. St Johnstone, whilst on loan at St Johnstone, Dunfermline. Inverness. Falkirk, whilst at Falkirk, on loan to Kelty Hearts. Brecon.
See, I had big bad Brad Mackay in my head, and now I'm not so
Right.
sure. But that does sound like a list of teams that he's played for. So I'm just going. But time-wise, what 2010? How old must Brad Mackay be? Let's think. If this is 2025, say he's 31, then he'll be born in 94. 94, so it'd be about 16 in 2010. Oh, it could be. St Johnstone, Falkirk, Dunfermline. Yeah. I'm gonna go Brad Mackay. Is it Brad Mackay?
The answer is Brad Mackay.
Yeah, that's
Very
fucking
well
annoying.
done.
That's
Now,
so annoying.
yeah, you were one off. You were 1 point off.
Oh,
Back to back five
that
out of
Dingwall
five.
draw, man. I never knew that'd still be haunting me a year
Yeah,
on.
exactly. It's still there. It'll never go. It's slightly Wikipedia's slightly fucked you over a wee bit. I thought potentially if you got it wrong because it says his years active at Hearts were 2010 to 2015. He didn't make his debut until 2013, but he was included in squads from 2010. He just
That's
never
wild.
He just never made his debut. So he was at
2013,
Edinburgh
so he'd
City.
have been what, like 18 or
He
something?
was 17 because he's 1993. So
yeah, okay.
But obviously when he made his debut, he was 20.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So his youth career was at Edinburgh City. We then signed him in 2010, where he then immediately went on loan to Pennycook, and played a bunch of games. I was going to have
the rookie cookie.
Yeah, I was going to have a clue being like, I went on loan to a local club to one of the hosts, but I was worried you would then just immediately get it.
I think this Bonnie and Rose given an outstay.
Aye, true. So yeah, his debut, and as I was saying to you before we started recording, it's weird that I tend to pick people not intentionally that have a link to the game we've just spoken about because on the 10th of March 2013, Brad Mackay made his first team debut coming on as a 38th minute substitute at Easter Road in a game against Hibs, replacing the injured Fraser Mullen in a 0-0 draw.
Jesus wept.
Yep. And then the captain thing, throughout the pre-season of 14-15, he was our captain. But then, just before the start of that season, Danny Wilson was given the actual captaincy. And then he never really played.
Is Danny Wilson, he'd signed on a permanent deal because he was initially on loan from Liverpool, is that right?
Yes. So he'd signed in 20...
So that must be in the midst of that or whatever.
Yeah, it was in the summer of that he signed for us.
Okay.
And then he's made his debut. Do you remember one of the clubs that he made his debut against us? Because it was in a very...
St Johnstone, the 4-3?
Yes, he was at us, and then the next season in that 4-3, and he makes a mistake. Yep, exactly. And then...
Me and my dad celebrated that like we'd just cleaned up all of Gorgie because he'd gone into the Ladbrokes on Gorgie Road to play Swadma Delgado for a goal scorer. So the pair of us were particularly pleased when Brad Mackay slipped that day.
Incredible. And then for Inverness, he made his debut for us in the League Cup group stages against us. So yeah,
was that under Levine when Paisley scored? Yeah, I remember that.
So Brad Mackay, you were 1 point off a full, literally 4 out of 5 and 17-18 off a full house.
Sorry though, my festive period's already been ruined, so I wouldn't worry about that too much.
But 10 clubs and he's only 32.
That's crazy.
And he's at Brecon. It's him and McCarthy at Brecon.
Was it Anthony McDonald as well? I think still at Brecon.
Yeah.
Is he not? Yeah.
Aye. Sorry. Some laugh. Well, let us know if you got Brad Mackay as well. I was about to say Anthony McDonald. Have we done Anthony McDonald?
Don't think so.
Well, let's see what happens next week. First week of the year. And let us know if you have enjoyed this episode. Listen, I said it last week a wee bit, but the support this year has been insane. Thank you so much. I know it's like we've had one of those years, calendar years, where Hearts have either been catastrophically bad or unbelievably good, which always naturally helps with listenership because people want to hear the really low lows and the really high highs. But regardless of that, it has been fantastic. We started the year with 103 subscribers on YouTube, and we have almost times that by 6 in the course of the year. And we've not really done anything different, so it's all thanks to you guys. Massive thank you. We're about to hit 250,000 listeners in the next couple of months as well, which is just...
Wild.
What are you doing? Why are you still here? Absolutely insane. But...
Let's give or take about 12 time castles.
Yes, think of that next time you're speaking about saying GMS is going to be signing the season. But I assume you echo the same sentiments going into the new year.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm going to be, looking at those 4 stands during the Livingston game thinking, Jesus, 12 times over. What the hell's wrong with people? But
no, have listened to us moan.
It's greatly appreciated. Yeah. Don't know why you're still here, but thanks.
No, not at all. But if you have enjoyed it, please, as ever, leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. It really, really does help get us out to new people. If you've been watching us on YouTube and enjoying the festive jumpers, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials. Perth to Paisley at gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can find me on all the socials rewatching compilations of Brad Mackay's Hearts goals at Kendo's column.
He only scored 1, according to Wikipedia. I don't even remember it. We will be back in 2026 to cover the opening game of the year against Livingston. Any please signings that have happened, both incoming and outgoing.
Please sign a few.
Yeah, please. And anything else that matters. But until then, enjoy your new year. Have a wonderful time. We'll see you in 2026. Bye-bye.
Come on, Hearts!